How well do you really regulate your emotions? If you are like most people, the honest answer is probably not as well as I would like. And that is okay. We are not taught this in school. We are taught algebra and history, but rarely are we taught how to handle the sudden storm of anger or the creeping fog of sadness. I want you to close your eyes for a moment and visualize a train. This train is your life. It is moving down the tracks, sometimes fast, sometimes slow. Now, think of your emotions as the passengers boarding this train. Some passengers, like joy, excitement, and curiosity, are welcome travelers. You love it when they hop on board. They bring good conversation and bright energy. But then there are the other passengers: anxiety, guilt, frustration, and deep sadness. These feel like unwelcome stowaways. They are loud, they take up too much space, and they make a mess of the dining car. Here is the mistake we often make. We try to throw these passengers off the moving train. We fight them. We wrestle with them. We scream at them to leave. But as the train conductor, your job is not to kick them off, because that is impossible while the train is moving. Your job is to understand where they are headed, keep the train on the tracks, and guide the journey safely to the next station. But what happens when the train feels out of control? When the passengers are rioting? When emotions pile up, derail your focus, or keep circling back to the same painful stops? If you have ever felt stuck in a loop of emotional torment and burnout, you need a map. Today, I am going to give you that map. It is called the process model of emotion regulation. It breaks down the lightning-fast experience of feeling into 5 distinct stages. By slowing down the train, we can see exactly where we have the power to change direction. Let us look at stage 1, situation selection. This is the earliest point of intervention. Before the emotion even happens, there is the situation that triggers it. The first step to getting your emotions in check is simply choosing your emotional environment wisely. It is like setting your train schedule. You are deciding where to go and when. For this stage, you need a high degree of self-awareness. You have to ask yourself, what am I feeling when I am in this place? Why do I feel this way when I am with this person? Once you understand your triggers, you can make better, more informed choices for your emotional well-being. For example, let us say you have a friend who loves to gossip. Every time you hang out with them, you leave feeling drained, guilty, and a little bit dirty from all the negativity. The old you might just keep saying yes to coffee dates out of habit. But the conductor version of you realizes that this situation is a breeding ground for emotions you do not want. So, you might opt to spend less time with them. Or maybe you know that watching the news right before bed makes you anxious and ruins your sleep. Situation selection means you choose to turn the television off at 8 o'clock. It sounds simple, right? Just avoid the bad stuff. But we both know life is not that simple. It is not always an option to walk away. You cannot always avoid your boss, your in-laws, or a traffic jam. A lot of times, life throws you into situations you cannot control, and you are forced to be on a track you did not choose. This leads us to the next stop. Stage 2 is situation modification. Let us be real. You cannot always control life's curveballs. You cannot stop a family member from saying something upsetting at Thanksgiving dinner. You cannot erase a tough day at work where the printer broke and you missed a deadline. But just because you are in a difficult situation does not mean you are powerless. You can control how you interact with the environment in the moment. That is the power of modifying your environment. It gives you a sense of agency when things feel overwhelming. Think of this step as adjusting the tracks while you are moving. You might not be able to change the destination completely, but you can make the ride smoother. For example, imagine you are at that family dinner. The food is on the table, and suddenly, a tense political topic comes up. You feel your chest tighten. You know this always leads to an argument. You are stuck at the table. You cannot just leave. But you can modify the situation. You can say, "Hey, this soup is delicious, Aunt Linda. Can you tell me the recipe?" You actively steer the conversation. You change the subject. Or let us say you come home from a stressful workday. Your brain is buzzing with anxiety. You walk into your living room and it is a mess. Toys are on the floor. Dishes are on the table. The clutter outside mirrors the clutter inside. Rather than collapsing on the couch and trying to numb out with mindless television, you take 5 minutes to declutter your space. You dim the lights. You light a candle. You have modified the physical situation to support a calmer emotional state. Situation modification is not avoidance. It is about making intentional, external changes to ease internal pressure. But sometimes, even that is not enough. The situation is what it is, and you cannot change it. You are stuck in the meeting. You are stuck in the traffic. Now what? This brings us to stage 3, attentional deployment. Okay, so at this stage, the external world is locked in. Now, the battle moves inside your mind. You are dealing with a powerful urge to either hyperfocus on the pain or distract yourself completely from your emotions. Imagine you have just had a heated argument with a friend. You are furious. You walk out of the room. The situation is over, but the emotion is blazing. What do you do with your attention? Many of us fall into 2 traps here. Trap number 1 is toxic distraction. You try to avoid the discomfort. Maybe you immediately call another friend and talk about the weather, pretending everything is fine. Maybe you lock yourself in your room and scroll through social media for 3 hours, watching videos of cats, just trying to numb the anger. You are looking away from the passenger on the train, hoping they will just disappear. Trap number 2 is rumination. You do the opposite. You fixate on your anger. You replay the argument in your head 1,000 times. You think of all the witty things you should have said. You draft a long, angry text message. You stalk their profile online. You are staring directly at the angry passenger, handing them a microphone and letting them take over the loudspeaker. Do either of these sound familiar? I know I have done both. Many people get stuck in this stage because, while distraction and obsession feel like coping, they are actually avoidance strategies. Instead of learning how to process your emotions, you either ignore them or you amplify them. Instead, let us try mindful attention. This is the healthy version of stage 3. You choose where to place your mind's eye. You name the emotion. I am frustrated. You feel it without judgment. This frustration feels like a tight knot in my stomach. You observe it like a cloud passing in the sky. You do not look away, but you also do not stare at it until it burns you. You let it move through you like a passenger getting off the train at their next stop. This step is uncomfortable, I know. It takes courage to sit with a feeling. But the more you practice this, the more you will realize that emotions are not monsters to fear. They are just energy in motion. Now, let us move deeper into the engine room of the mind. Stage 4 is cognitive change. Once you have allowed your emotions to just be present, and you are not distracting yourself, it is time to work with the meaning you are assigning to the event. This is where the magic happens. Emotions are not caused by events, they are caused by our interpretation of events. Let us say you have had a rough day at work. You made a mistake in a presentation. You feel defeated. If you let your automatic thoughts spiral, you might start thinking, I am not good enough. I always mess up. I am going to get fired. These thoughts are fuel for the fire of shame. They trap you in a cycle of negativity. We do not want that. Cognitive change is about taking a step back and rethinking those thoughts. It is about changing the narrative. You are the author of your own story. You look at the same set of facts, the mistake in the presentation, and you tell a different story. For example, instead of focusing on the failure, you could remind yourself, I am human. I learned something valuable today about preparation. This one mistake does not define my entire career. I have handled worse before, and I will handle this. Do you feel the difference in your body when you say that? The first story makes you feel small and heavy. The second story makes you feel capable and resilient. This step is like changing the route of your train. Instead of letting it stay on a track leading to the canyon of self-loathing, you shift the lever. You switch to a track headed toward growth and perspective. You are not ignoring the negative. You admit you made a mistake, but you are choosing to see the bigger picture. You are highlighting the growth and opportunities within the experience. Finally, the emotion has traveled all the way through your system, and it is ready to be released. Stage 5 is response modulation. You are finally at the stage where the emotion you have been processing needs to be expressed externally. The way you express your emotions directly impacts how well you finally move through them and let them go. Let us say you are feeling frustrated about a disagreement with a loved one. You have gone through the stages. You realized you couldn't avoid the talk, stage 1. You tried to stay calm, stage 2. You focused on your breath, stage 3. You reframed the story to realize they aren't trying to hurt you, stage 4. But the frustration is still there in your body. It is physical energy. The unhelpful response would be to suppress it, bottling it up until you explode later, or to lash out, slamming doors and yelling. Neither of those regulates the emotion. They just transfer the pain. Stage 5 encourages you to express yourself calmly, constructively, and physiologically. First, handle the body. Take 10 deep breaths. Shake your hands out. Go for a brisk walk. Release the adrenaline that has built up. This is response modulation at the physical level. Then, handle the communication. You say something like, "I felt hurt when that happened. I care about us, so can we talk about it?" By expressing your emotions in a way that is clear but respectful, you are not only processing them in a healthy way, you are also opening the door for connection. This stage is about letting your emotions guide your actions without letting them control you. It is the difference between a train crashing through a station and a train arriving smoothly at the platform. You are in control of the train now. You know when to stop, when to start, and how to open the doors to let the passengers off. My dear friends, if you are feeling stuck or overwhelmed by your emotions, please know that you are not broken. You just need a system. The process model of emotion regulation offers a simple roadmap. It is not always easy. In the heat of the moment, it is hard to remember to pause. It is hard to rethink the story. It is a process that takes practice. But think about it this way. Every time you practice these 5 stages, you are building a muscle. You are strengthening your ability to be the conductor of your own life. The goal is not to stop feeling. A life without emotion is a train with no passengers, empty and pointless. The goal is to feel everything, the highs, the lows, the grief, the ecstasy, but to feel it with safety and sanity. So, I want to ask you a question today. Which stage resonates most with your experiences? Where do you usually get stuck? Do you struggle with choosing the right situations? Do you struggle with the story you tell yourself? Or do you struggle with the final expression? I invite you to pick just one stage to focus on this week. Just one. Maybe this week you focus on stage 3. You focus on where you are putting your attention. When you feel sad, do you doom scroll? Try to catch yourself. Gently guide your attention back to your breath, back to the present moment. Share your insights in the comments down below. I read them, and I am always so moved by your honesty and your wisdom. We are learning together. And if you found this video valuable, if it gave you a little bit of light for your journey, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us keep this train moving. Remember, Emotions are just visitors. They come and they go. You are the vast, beautiful station that holds them all. You are strong enough to handle the journey. From my heart to yours, thank you for watching. Keep breathing, keep feeling, and keep moving forward. Until next time, sending you waves of happy aura. Goodbye.